You've tried budgeting before, multiple times, probably. You downloaded the app, tracked your spending for a week or two, felt motivated and organized. And then, life happened. The budget fell apart. And you told yourself it was because you didn't earn enough, or because unexpected expenses came up, or because budgeting just doesn't work for you. But what if I told you the real reason your budgets fail has nothing to do with math and everything to do with psychology? Did you know that according to behavioral economists, over 80% of budgeting failures are caused by psychological factors, not mathematical ones? Most people who fail at budgeting actually have enough money to meet their goals. They just can't get their brain to cooperate with their plan. The good news? Once you understand the psychology behind budgeting, you can work with your brain instead of fighting against it. And if you're new to our channel, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you won't miss out on the valuable insights we share in our future videos. What I'm about to share isn't another budgeting spreadsheet or tracking method. This is about understanding why you make the money decisions you make and how to rewire those patterns so budgeting finally sticks. Let's start with the first psychological principle, the scarcity mindset trap. Here's something most people don't realize. The way you think about money is probably sabotaging your budget before you even start. And the biggest culprit is what psychologists call the scarcity mindset. When you think about budgeting, what feeling comes up? For most people, it's restriction, deprivation, sacrifice. You think, a budget means I can't have what I want. I have to say no to things I enjoy. I'm going to feel limited and controlled. That's scarcity mindset, and it's absolutely toxic to successful budgeting. Here's why this matters. When your brain perceives scarcity, it goes into survival mode. And in survival mode, you make terrible decisions. You panic buy. You emotionally spend. You abandon the plan because following it feels like deprivation, and your brain is literally wired to avoid deprivation at all costs. Let me show you how this plays out in real life. You create a budget that says you can spend $300 on groceries, but you think of that $300 as a restriction. I can only spend $300. So you feel deprived. You start resenting the budget. Eventually, you rebel against it by overspending, and then you abandon the whole thing because you failed. But here's the reframe that changes everything. That same $300 isn't a restriction, it's permission. I have $300 to spend on groceries this month. I get to spend that money on food I enjoy. See the difference? Same amount, completely different psychology. When you shift from scarcity mindset to what I call intentional abundance mindset, budgeting stops feeling like deprivation and starts feeling like empowerment. You're not restricting yourself. You're directing your money toward things that matter to you. Here's how to make this shift. Stop using restriction language. Don't say, I can't afford that, or I'm not allowed to spend on that. Instead, say, I'm choosing not to spend on that because I'm prioritizing something else, or I'm directing my money toward X instead of Y. This simple language shift rewires your brain's response to budgeting. The psychology here is crucial. Your mindset about money determines your behavior more than the actual amount of money you have. Fix the mindset, and the behavior follows. The second psychological principle, decision fatigue, is killing your budget. Let's talk about why you can stick to a budget for a week or two, and then it falls apart. The answer is decision fatigue, and it's one of the most underestimated factors in budgeting failure. Here's what happens. You start your budget, and suddenly you're making conscious money decisions all day long. Should I buy this? Does this fit my budget? Which category does this go in? What about this expense? Every purchase becomes a decision that requires mental energy. Research shows that humans make about 35,000 decisions per day, and each one depletes our mental energy. When you add budgeting to your life, you're asking yourself to consciously consider dozens of additional money decisions daily, and eventually, your brain just can't do it anymore. You run out of willpower, and when willpower runs out, you default back to old spending habits. This is why budgets fail even when you're motivated. It's not that you don't care, it's that your brain is literally exhausted from all the decisions. Here's the solution. You need to automate as many money decisions as possible. The less you have to think about money, the more successful your budget will be. Automate your savings the day after you get paid. Set up automatic bill payments. Create spending rules that don't require constant deliberation. For example, Instead of deciding every morning whether to buy coffee out, make one decision. I pack coffee from home Monday through Friday, and I treat myself to coffee out on Saturday. One decision made once rather than 7 decisions every week. That's 28 decisions eliminated every month, which preserves your mental energy for decisions that actually matter. Here's another powerful technique. Use cash for problem spending categories. If you struggle with overspending on eating out, withdraw your monthly eating out budget in cash at the beginning of the month. Now you don't have to track and deliberate about every restaurant meal. When the cash is gone, you're done. One system, no ongoing decisions needed. The psychology here is about working with your brain's limitations instead of pretending you have unlimited willpower. You don't. Nobody does. Successful budgeters acknowledge this and design systems that minimize decision making. The third psychological principle, loss aversion is your secret weapon. Let me introduce you to a psychological principle that explains so much about money behavior. Loss aversion. Behavioral economists have proven that humans feel the pain of losing something about twice as strongly as we feel the pleasure of gaining something. Here's what that means for budgeting. If I told you that you could gain $100, you'd feel pretty good about it. But if I told you that you're going to lose $100, you'd feel terrible. About twice as terrible as the gain felt good. This is loss aversion, and most people think it's a bad thing for budgeting. But I'm going to show you how to use it as a powerful tool. Here's the key. Reframe your spending as losing money rather than gaining stuff. When you're about to make an impulse purchase, don't think, I could have this shirt. Think, I'm about to lose $40 from my savings goal. Let me show you how powerful this is. You're shopping online, about to buy something for $75. Your typical thought is, I want this. It's on sale. I should get it. That's gain framing. You're focused on what you'll gain. But try this instead. If I buy this, I lose $75 from my emergency fund goal. That's $75 less financial security. That's pushing back my financial freedom by another week. Suddenly, the purchase feels very different, doesn't it? That's loss aversion working for you instead of against you. Here's how to implement this. Write down your main financial goal, emergency fund, debt payoff, whatever it is. Put a specific dollar amount on it. Now, every time you're tempted to make an unplanned purchase, consciously think, this purchase will move me $X further from my goal. Frame it as a loss, not a missed gain. The psychology here is that when you frame spending as losing money rather than gaining stuff, your brain's natural loss aversion kicks in and makes it much easier to resist impulse purchases. You're using your brain's wiring to support your goals instead of fighting against it. The fourth psychological principle, the fresh start effect. Here's something fascinating from behavioral psychology. People are significantly more likely to pursue goals after what researchers call temporal landmarks. These are dates that feel like a fresh start. New Year's Day, birthdays, the first day of a month, Monday mornings. You've probably experienced this yourself. How many times have you said, I'll start my budget on Monday, or I'll get serious about money in January? That's the fresh start effect. And most people think it's just procrastination, but it's actually revealing something important about how your brain works. Your brain craves the feeling of a clean slate. When you've messed up your budget by mid-month, it's psychologically hard to get back on track because that month already feels ruined. But if you wait until the first of next month, suddenly it feels possible again because it's a fresh start. Here's how to use this to your advantage. First, structure your budget around natural fresh start points. Start your budget on the first of the month or the day after you get paid. This gives your brain the fresh start feeling it craves. But more importantly, create artificial fresh starts when you need them. If you blow your budget in week 2, don't wait until next month to try again. Instead, declare a financial reset day. Treat the next day like a fresh start. Review what went wrong, make adjustments, and mentally start fresh. Give yourself permission to reset without waiting for the calendar. I also recommend weekly fresh starts. Every Sunday evening, review the past week and plan the next week as if it's a fresh start. This gives you 52 opportunities per year to reset and refocus, instead of just 12 monthly or 1 annually. The psychology here is powerful. Fresh starts reduce the weight of past failures and make future success feel achievable. When you feel like you can succeed, you're exponentially more likely to actually succeed. The fifth psychological principle, identity-based budgeting. Here's the most powerful psychological principle of all, and most people never figure this out. Your budgeting behavior is ultimately driven by your identity, who you believe you are. If you see yourself as someone who's bad with money, or not a saver, or terrible at budgeting, guess what? You'll consistently behave in ways that confirm that identity. Your brain actually works to keep your behavior consistent with your self-image, even when that self-image is negative. But here's the incredible part. You can change your identity, and when you do, your behavior automatically follows. This is why mindset matters more than money. Your money behavior flows from your money identity. Let me show you how to shift this. Stop saying things like, "I'm bad with money," or "I'm not good at saving," even jokingly. Instead, start saying, "I'm someone who manages money intentionally," or "I'm becoming better with money every day." Even more powerful, start using present tense identity statements. I'm a saver. I'm someone who sticks to a budget. I'm financially responsible. At first, these might feel untrue. That's okay. Say them anyway. Your brain will start looking for evidence that supports these statements, and you'll start behaving in ways that confirm this new identity. Here's a practical example. You're at a store, tempted to make an impulse purchase. Instead of thinking, "I shouldn't buy this," which creates resistance and makes you want it more, think, "I'm someone who makes intentional spending decisions, and this isn't an intentional decision." You're not restricting yourself. You're simply being who you are. The psychology here is profound. When budgeting aligns with your identity, it stops feeling like effort. It becomes automatic because it's just what people like you do. This is the ultimate goal, reaching the point where good money management isn't something you do, it's who you are. Look, I've given you a lot of psychology here, but here's the bottom line. Your budget doesn't fail because of math. It fails because your brain is working against your plan instead of with it. The scarcity mindset makes you feel deprived, which leads to rebellion. Decision fatigue exhausts your willpower. Loss aversion can either sabotage you or support you, depending on how you use it. The lack of fresh starts makes recovery from mistakes feel impossible, and a negative money identity creates behaviors that confirm your worst beliefs about yourself. But when you understand these psychological principles, you can design a budgeting system that works with your brain instead of against it. You reframe restriction as intention. You minimize decisions through automation and systems. You use loss aversion to resist impulse purchases. You create fresh starts whenever you need them. And you build an identity as someone who manages money well. This is why mindset matters more than money. You can have a perfect budget on paper, but if your psychology is working against you, that budget will fail. Fix the psychology first, and the budget almost fixes itself. Start with one principle this week. Maybe it's reframing your budget language to eliminate scarcity mindset. Maybe it's automating one financial decision to reduce decision fatigue. Pick one, implement it, and notice how your relationship with budgeting changes. Then add another principle the following week. 6 weeks from now, if you implement all 5 principles, your budget won't feel like a constant battle. It'll feel natural because you've aligned your psychology with your financial goals. If you found this video helpful, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon to stay updated with more practical financial advice. Your budgeting success starts with understanding your brain, master the psychology, and the money follows. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.